there's one thing that you may not have considered that can make a huge impact on you, on your reputation in the industry, and on your profitability as an entrepreneur. Would you like to increase your revenue and the amount of money you make while reducing overwhelm? Well, the very best way to simplify your business operations is to focus exclusively on your high-end clients. Now, I was sitting down recently with one of my high-end clients. She's in the financial services industry, and we did an audit of her business over the past couple of years. And here's what we found. Let me check my numbers here. We discovered that 78% of her revenues were coming from her top 17 clients, 17, even though she had 263 clients on her roster. Pretty amazing. So out of those 263 clients, the majority of her revenues were coming from her top 17 clients. And what we mapped out is that by focusing exclusively on clients just like these top 17, she was going to be able to make much more money this year with a much smaller team, which means at the end of the day, she's working less and she's able to bank way more cash. Pretty amazing. Now, I'm sure you can understand the math in that story, and I know from my experience that kind of math always adds up. A few years ago, I did a similar exercise inside my own business and found that the Pareto principle, where 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts generally, that really held up in my business as well. The vast majority of my revenue was coming from a small client group, and the minority of my headaches were also coming from that small client group. And so that's why I decided to really focus my business around working with high-end service-based entrepreneurs. So there absolutely is a case for high-end. And as you are mapping out your plans for the year, I want to make sure that you give good consideration to really up-leveling your clients and re-niching to that top tier of clients you already serve. Your high-end clients are going to have higher fees. They're going to be able to pay you higher fees. They have the ability to rehire you, which makes their customer acquisition costs much lower in the long term. It leads to a much more simplified business for you to run, fewer people, fewer headaches, leaner team, way more money in your bank account at the end of the day. And the other thing that we don't always talk about is that because you're working with fewer people, you're going to have fewer headaches. You're going to have much more appreciation, for the work and the impact that you're making in their lives and businesses, and also way fewer headaches. So there's absolutely a case for high end. Now, you may have heard or be really familiar with the idea that high-end clients can pay you more, they allow you to command higher fees, you don't need as many, so your business is a lot simpler. But there's one thing that you may not have considered that can make a huge impact on you, on your reputation in the industry, and on your profitability as an entrepreneur. And that is the fact that higher-end clients also are generally going to be the clients who get the best results from working with you. And the reason, of course, is that they have more resources to be able to invest in the strategies that you recommend to them. And often the reason that they're a high-end client, the reason that they've worked themselves into that tier is because they're action takers, they are decisive, and they're going to implement the strategies that you recommend. So it becomes a real win-win situation. If you think about it as an entrepreneur, your reputation is really going to be built around the results that you help your clients achieve. So in many ways, you can't afford to not target high-end clients. And once you do that, you get the pride and appreciation of seeing your clients crush it and get great results from the strategies that you recommend. And the other thing, of course, is that your reputation as a leader in your space, as a go-to expert, gets cemented, not because of what you say, but because of the results that you are helping your clients achieve. So if you want to really take a look right now at some preliminary steps that you can take to re-niche, to focus on your highest tier of clients, there's a couple of things you can do. So the first thing is I recommend that you do the same audit that I did and that I encouraged my client that I told you about at the beginning of this story to do. Specifically, what I want you to do is to sit down, go through your client list and really get a sense of which of these clients have contributed the most in terms of revenues and which of these clients are contributing the least in terms of headaches. And what you're going to see is generally most of your revenue is coming from that top 20%. So figure out who are those 20%. Name names. Be very clear on who they are as individuals. And even if you're working with companies, think about the company themselves, but also the people who've hired you inside those companies. Name names. Be very clear on who those people are. The second thing that you want to do is really discipline yourself so that all of your messaging and marketing really focuses exclusively on those specific people, so that you know that everything that you are putting out into the world, from videos or emails or posters or white papers, all of your marketing and messaging materials are really targeted to that high end and that high end client alone. All right, I hope you found this video useful. Thank you so much for watching. And if you did find it useful, I'd appreciate it if you shared it with someone whom you think would benefit. See you around.